Hey, do you know what's not a great business practice? Injecting an undercard fan favorite into a major angle and then just firing him almost immediately afterwards. The final time John Cena and Randy Orton locked horns, R-Truth, of all people, was involved in the finish. He got a singles match with John Cena out of it. John Cena, who's on his retirement tour right now. And now, wouldn't you know, R-Truth is gone. He's been dropped like a bad habit. And for all the turds saying the man's over 50, so what? He's insanely well preserved physically. He's over, and he was just in a major angle. What was the point of all that if he was just going to be let go? So these idiots, talking like they're geniuses of business. No. There is no logic to this. R-Truth is a loyal employee, well liked by fans, who's been very prominent on TV recently. If he was doing nothing, that would be fair enough. He'd be dead weight. But he clearly wasn't. He had a place in the company. Ridiculous. And I don't even like his comedy stuff, but I can tell you, utterly absurd decision. Anyways, there were chants for R-Truth throughout this week's Raw. Not many Carlito chants, though. The apple spitter has also been dropped, so the Judgment Day is now down a member and even weaker than ever. Again, where's the logic? He's a bit more expendable than R-Truth, but he was still doing something prominent on TV week to week. Anyways, as per usual, Raw this week opened with arrivals. People advertised for the weekly show, who we knew were gonna be on it, eating up TV time, walking in, trying to act casual like there's not a camera right there. No one cares, just get to the action. Damn you, Triple Nose, and get a rhinoplasty while you're at it, my goodness. Meant to be my day off today, look at the state I'm in already. Or listen to the state I'm in already, no one needs to see this mug on camera. Right, Michael Cole and Pat McAfee had some banter, if you can even call it that, about the NBA. It wasn't funny, or interesting, or entertaining if these two spent a little more time learning how to commentate properly, and a little less time desperately trying to convince us all they're pals. That would be great. CM Punk came out then, and also talked about the NBA Finals, something the team he supports haven't reached since the Michael Jordan era. 1998, that's almost 30 years ago now, goodness me. How the mighty have fallen. Punk played the role of a desperate beggar, hands out, demanding fans watch Triple Nose's B-grade Netflix slup shows instead of the basketball finals if the games go head-to-head with Triple Nose's B-grade Netflix slup shows. Keep dreaming, old man. Keep dreaming. People in the US, at least, will be watching the finals. Now, CM Punk mentioned that Jey Uso is his friend because WWE is all about who is and who isn't friends now, like high school, but extra childish, so the early years of high school, or junior high, as it's called in the US, I think. Punk trashed John Cena, maybe teasing a feud between them, and noted how he sold his soul to Triple Nose's dim-witted, closet homosexual booking by saying the Doctor of Thugonomics sold his soul to a bold, fraud, goof. I 100% agree, that sums up Triple Nose perfectly. Oh, wait a second, sorry, he meant The Rock. You know that one time The Rock was involved with this angle this year before he magically disappeared forever? Right. Well, I mean, you see, the thing there, The Rock is bald, obviously. It's a shame for him, but he is. And you could say he's a goof, sure, he's a bit goofy on TV, alright. But he's no fraud. He's one of the most charismatic wrestlers of all time, and a very successful movie star to boot. Look, he might be a bit lame and past it and out of touch with reality these days, but fraud is still monstrously unfair, and it reeks of petty jealousy from Mr. Failed Actor Punk. Has anyone seen that horror film he was in? I myself have not. I've seen snippets though, and believe me, that was enough. CM Punk went on to say he's always had John Cena's number, apparently. I distinctly remember Punk never getting a fully clean win over him, but anyway, even Money in the Bank 2011, their most famous match, Punk wins with the GTS, but it's off a distraction from Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis. One of the greatest finishes in wrestling history, at least of that decade. It was absolutely great storytelling, but my point is it was not a 100% clean win either. Yeah, this promo sucks. By Punk standards, to be fair to CM Punk, his promo quality is very high compared to most of the talent. So when I say it sucks by his standards, it was actually just average by normal wrestler in WWE standards. But anyway, Punk called Cena a bitch for a desperate cheap pump. Oh, he sweared! Oh my goodness! It's like the edgelord version of name-dropping the town the show's in to get that cheap pup. Sami Zayn came out, and immediately the testosterone in the arena took a dive as Mr. Soy and Therapy droned on about his feelings, as always, this time regarding his ex-friend, Seth Rollins, and how much he could hurt wrestling if he won the Money in the Bank. Now, in fairness to Sami Zayn, that's a very good point. It's a proven fact that ratings go down when Seth Rollins is the leading man. Just look at 2015, 2019, and now post-WrestleMania 2025, for some examples. Anyway, Zayn wants Punk in his ring. Wants him to pick up a win in the ring tonight. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, guys, as I'm sure you can tell, I'm not with it today. The relentless queer coding of Triple Nose's Nancy Boy booking is really starting to throw me off. I could have sworn wrestling used to be a bit different, but anyways. Apparently only Punk can win to stop Seth Rollins based on Sami Zayn's promo. So Zayn is giving no confidence to AJ Styles or El Grande Americano, or any of the other men actually already qualified for the match. It has to be Punk. Alright then. You know, that Stephanie Vaquer's alright as far as women's wrestling goes. Decent moves, good look. Very nice ass. Yeah, pretty good. Anyways, Liv Morgan is slowly but surely moving into a feud with that middle schooler. Dominic Mysterio's looking to deflower on the down low, if you know what I mean. I'm not being subtle here. And I don't even know who this Isle Nivey is. I think she's in the Not American Alpha group Chad Gable has now, that thing. Basically, the obvious option here for the win was Vaquer, fresh off getting massively over with Booker T in NXT. Vaquer did her Devil's Kiss, it's called. It's over. It's going to get more over, I suspect. Ivy Nile hit a neat double German suplex on both women. Chants for R-Truth were popping up throughout the bout. They picked up the pace in the closing stretch with some slick near falls, including Vaquer almost losing to Morgan's Oblivion before the pin was broken up. Way to make the new style look strong right there, very good. Vaquer pinned Nile, the blatant jobber duty performer from the get-go, with what is called apparently an SVB, to punch her ticket to Money in the Bank. Yesterday was the birthday of one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. By yesterday, I mean Monday. I'm watching Raw a day later because of the UK-US time difference. AJ Styles is 48 now. Sure, he's just an old mid-carder these days, but damn it, Styles in his prime was one of the absolute best workers ever. Bell to bell, not so much on the mic. Super athlete, great psychology, intensity, selling. He could brawl, he could fly, he could do technical stuff, he could do it all. What a talent. And across 3 major promotions. TNA, which to be clear had much better ratings back then. New Japan, and of course WWE. Anyways, bit of a humiliation ritual for Paul Styles tonight. It's common knowledge he despises Paul Heyman for being a lying creep. There was a lot of beef between them over Heyman's dishonesty, surrounding one of the dozen-odd times Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows got fired from the WWE. Now, though, Styles has to behave, and have a segment, on his birthday no less, with the biggest penny-pinching cheapskate dirtbag in wrestling history, which is really saying something, given the likes of Jerry Jarrett and Vern Gagne were a thing. Heyman cut a borderline retarded promo. How anyone ever thought this guy's shtick was amazing is beyond me. The promo was about how Styles should not be going for Money in the Bank. What a terrible, demotivating thing to say to someone. And instead should be feuding with Dominic Mysterio. So I didn't get it. What, does he want Styles to forfeit tonight? Because that's ludicrous and nonsensical, even by heel standard. That's very unreasonable. Styles ended this pointless, embarrassing segment, saying everyone's got a plan till they get punched in the mouth. That's a Mike Tyson quote originally, for anyone wondering, which was probably no one. Jobsev had a video package. This guy blows. It was quite similar to his old religious guy promos in AEW, to which I have to say, look at any of the monotheistic religions, right? You know, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, whatever. None of them, as far as I'm aware, endorse being a massive cuck. So Rusev might want to rethink his ways or find a religious movement that does. Anyways, Rusev mentioned him and Sheamus used to be friends because, of course, every male angle revolves around friendship on Monday Night Raw for some reason. Funnily enough, many of Triple Nose's own angles, particularly during the Ruthless Aggression era, revolved around this idiotic trope. I mean, sometimes it can be good, but when it happens all the time, it's quite bad. These included his feuds with Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, Randy Orton, Batista, and Ric Flair, and there may well be some I'm forgetting. Sheamus then had back-to-back segments. They weren't very good, but I quite like Sheamus, so I'm not going to be too horrible about them. First, he pretended that Amerijub Alpha could be more than just jubbers. That was stupid. And then he got interviewed by Kathy Kelly's truly magnificent breasts. Alright, this was a bit better. Sheamus roasted Rusev's disappointing career a bit, fair enough, and then he said he bullies bullies. I get Sheamus as a babyface now, but this is quite silly. It's as if he himself didn't play a big bully heel for a very large portion of his WWE career already. Back in 2015, he specifically picked on short wrestlers just because they were short. He's a schoolyard bully character, and he expects us all to just forget. Ha! I think not. Now, we're almost an hour into this show. It feels like 4 hours. It's probably felt like an hour just listening to me talk about it. And what I want to point out, hour into the show, one match. One match in 1 hour. Can anyone remind me what the second W in WWE stands for? Because apparently the geniuses working there have forgotten. Finn Balor and Jub D. McJubber managed to win a match next against the War Raiders. How about that? Obviously Carlito wasn't around to help them win, because apparently the Judgment Day aren't allowed to win clean, you might remember, so Dominic Mysterio's jailbait side piece helped them out instead. Bit of a nothing match, to be honest with you, but at least it's some wrestling on a wrestling show for a change. Becky cringe promo next. I hit that fast forward like there was no tomorrow. Apparently, during the ad break, one of the 800 ad breaks on this show, the New Day told Grayson Waller to drop Austin Theory. It's very rare I give you insider information. It's not like I'm an investigator, but I have it from sources that I cannot name. That this entire segment was actually a reenactment of a recent conversation between Triple Nose and his reflection in the mirror. But we'll see where it goes. Kathy Kelly and her remarkable wreck returned for an interview with Stephanie Vaquer. Alright, let's go Kathy Kelly and that other lady. Where Vaquer largely stuck to speaking Spanish. This is America, Steph. You might want to learn the lingo, alright? Just last year I holidayed in Amsterdam for a little while, and I won't tell you what I got up to there. This is a tasteful, family-friendly channel, obviously. But I didn't go around speaking English. I spoke some incredibly abysmal broken Dutch. Very basic, not very well pronounced, but at least I tried, damn it. Oh, anyway, Rhea Ripley was spotted earlier on that evening of the show, wearing an R-Truth shirt over her red sports bra. It's not that interesting, it's just when she went on the show, the shirt was gone and she was just in her sports bra, which was an improvement in many ways. Just curious, though. Makes you wonder. Anyway, she rudely interrupted this segment, but not for anything interesting, just so she could shake hands with Stephanie Vaquer. I mean, I'll tell you what, the positive here was the crowd liked both of them. Right, they were both over, so there's something. Oh my goodness. More Becky cringe. She's out with Bird Lady now, and fans are giving this feather-loving wannabe the what treatment. Can't say I blame them. She never brings her charisma with her to work for some reason. If she has any. This feud, far as I can tell, exists solely so Lynch can try and get a fellow Irish woman over. And while that match at Backlash wasn't bad by any stretch, the angle itself is not getting the job done. Bird Lady says she needed to get angry to beat Lynch, even though she's already beaten her twice. What? What is this angle? Why does Becky Lynch think she's a good heel and not an embarrassing ham with acting chops like Neil Breen? Lynch says Bird Lady just wanted a reason to hate her. Yes, you gave her one when you brutally beat her up twice in recent times, you delusional mungo. What is this show anymore? Oh, no, damn it. It's barely 10 a.m. and this is how I'm spending my morning off. Damn it! Damn it, no! Let me just compose myself a bit. Lynch left the ring, and then Bird Lady suggested they have their upcoming title match. Right then and there. She's already left the ring, and both of them are in street clothes. Was this meant to make Bird Lady look cool? That she can't grasp contracted agreements on when matches are set for? She's an idiot. This appalling abomination of a segment ended with some clumsy brawling on the outside. Goodness me, what utter televisual diarrhea this was. Right. Okay, the rest of the show actually wasn't that bad. compared to what we just... I can't even speak properly anymore. What we just went through. The torment of Becky Cringe. I might actually have to just stop making these videos. To the huge rejoice of the 10 or so people who dislike every one of them. Right, so Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, I don't even care. They were out next to take on Seth Rollins' oiled-up beefcakes, Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. About 1 minute or so into this bad boy. Ad break, great. Zayn and Breakker were the heat builders for their teams, with Uso and Reed being booked as the strong ones. Now that's not a surprise in Zayn's case, especially since he's tagging with the world champ. Pretty bad sign in Breakker's case though, especially since he's a wrecking ball on the heel team. Especially since he's meant to be a wrecking ball and he's on the heel team, so psychology-wise, why is he building heat? He got schooled by Jey Uso quite a bit here anyways. One thing Seth Rollins and his team apparently don't seem to be into in this angle at the moment is winning, as the Monday Night Man Lover caused a DQ loss for his boys here. Bronson Reed, and this was wild, was going to go for a tsunami off the top to the announcer's table on the outside. Did this perfectly circular man learn nothing from the disaster of War Games last year? Fortunately, CM Punk came hobbling out to make the save. To be fair, the crowd couldn't get enough of this chaos. Everyone was over, so it was a huge improvement over the utter horror of that Becky Lynch segment. That segment could have derailed the whole business. That was just shocking. This wasn't that bad, though. This was okay. Some tension was teased in the Judgment Day next, but no one cares, because it stopped being a relevant or credible faction when Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley got booted out of it last year. Now it's just Finn Balor and his undercard misfit friends for the most part. Jobby Sane once again went against her natural role in the company, quite shocking, beating Tall Lady in a nothing match I may or may not have fast-forwarded through. Oh, now that Karrion Kross is super over, isn't he? Is he? That's what people say. There's some crowd reaction, I guess, but he's not exactly Stone Cold Steve Austin in 1999 either. Now, I thought Kross was meant to be kind of an evil genius, devil-on-the-shoulder, Sean O'Hare style gimmick. But according to this segment, he's actually insane and completely delusional, as he said here that Sami Zayn could have been a 10-time world champion already. What? At best, he'll get a Kofi Mania-style run next year or something. 10-time champion. What utter insanity. Look at the state of Sami Zayn. I don't think so. Oh, the show picked up again. Kathy Kelly has returned. Oh my goodness. Kathy Kelly and her just delightful rack are back on camera. When are they going to give this woman her own show already? Forget Raw, I want Monday Night Kathy, that's what I want. She was interviewing Roxanne Perez, who shockingly, it's very embarrassing to the channel, shockingly revealed she's apparently 23. This changes everything. My utter disgust for Dirty Dom and his hunt for jailbait may have to subside. I will need to see some ID before I fully believe it, though. When I was younger, I used to work at this very loud, very awful bar in London. Every time I stepped out from behind the bar to pick up empty glasses, there's always some 50-year-old woman who wants to grab your junk, because that's what these women do when they're drunk and old, and it's meant to be funny. Switch the genders and tell me if it's still funny. Bar was awful. I hope it gets destroyed by a terror attack if it hasn't already. Anyways, one thing they did teach me, though, that was quite interesting, was how to spot a fake ID. So I'm on to WWE here. I smell a rat, and I will know when I see that ID, which will be never, if it's fake or not. Oh, Gunther's here. Do you remember when Gunther used to be a full-time wrestler? I just about do. He came in to do a repeat of his promo with Jey Uso from last week, but this time it's backstage. So that actually makes it different. Brilliant booking. Jey Uso reminded Gunther that he tapped out at WrestleMania. A ridiculous moment that may well have permanently damaged Gunther's aura and star power at this point, if he had any to begin with. So AJ Styles and CM Punk, this is actually quite intriguing to see them in the ring together. Back in the noughties, both men worked for both Ring of Honor and TNA. There was a rather unfortunate issue over in Ring of Honor in 2004. Jim Feinstein, I think that's how you say it, maybe it's Feinstein, I don't know. The owner of Ring of Honor at the time was busted. It turns out Cheeky Jim was on the hunt for some not quite legal tail. Shocking! Absolutely shocking, I'm shocked. TNA decided they didn't want to be associated with an utter creep show. So they severed ties with Ring of Honor and informed the talent that they had that they could no longer work Ring of Honor shows due to the embarrassment of this whole thing. Now AJ Styles, who was gearing up for pushes in both promotions, opted to stick with TNA. Not only did they pay better, but he was also pals with Jeff Jarrett, and the stank of Feinstein filth wasn't all over the promotion, so you can understand why he moved over there permanently. CM Punk. CM Woke, more like. We all know what he's about. Childless middle-aged man, celebrating dead babies with his little hero boy shirts, waving his little say goodbye to puberty, kids having their wangs cut off flags, was upset about this, as well as Styles' rather conservative views on things. And the pair have not gotten on well ever since. I mean, I say that, they probably haven't spoken since until more recently, so is it really a problem if you never see someone you don't like? Anyways, many were surprised to see them sharing a ring here, and without issue, at that. It's a funny thing, these men are both paid very well, and it's called professionalism. Alright, more people should try it. In the old days, it was a very commonly practiced thing across all kinds of work mediums. Now everyone's all up in their feelings, and I just can't even right now, and they can't even handle the most basic job. Yeah, take a page out of these two's books, put your boring bullshit no one cares about to a side, and just do your job and shut up. There you go. This is pretty much the speech I had to give someone at work the other day, if you were wondering. This was quite a fun match, easily the highlight of the night, not that that's saying much. Starting off on the amusing moment of Punk and Styles demanding El Grande Americano's mask be checked for that no-good metal plate. This match was a neat blend of fast-paced action and some comedy as all three ran through rapid-fire spots, only pausing for Americano joke moments, which landed, in fairness. The crowd got especially hot for Punk trying to yank not Chad Gable's mask off. Dueling Chad Gable chants broke out. Punk landed the GTS on Americano, but the fans started barking. Oh, so you know what that means. Braun Breaker's about to cast in the match. Talk about telegraphed. Put Breaker under the ring so it's not as obvious. Gee. Everyone came running out then for a big melee that was ended by AJ Styles landing a springboard dive. Look, that looked very cool, but in kayfabe, what was the logic in doing that? The heels went after Punk and wound up brawling with Zayn and Uso as well. If Styles had half a brain, he would have steered clear of the chaos and focused on El Grande Americano. Instead, despite not even a hint of putting the plate back in his mask, Not Chad Gable won with a headbutt to Styles. That's nice for Not Gable. Great wrestler, it's cool he's getting a push, sort of. But it was heavily overshadowed by the post-match angle of Rollins and friends beating the tar out of the faces, including everyone hitting their finishers on Jey Uso. Presumably being beaten up, stretched thin, and exhausted is going to play into Uso's rematch with Gunther. Whether it's an excuse to get the belt off of him, please, yes, or make him look like a hero when he retains, please, no, remains to be seen. I think this show's made me retarded. I could have sworn I used to be better spoken and sane than this. It's very sad. It's what WWE does to a man. Why do I keep watching it? I know. That's what someone will comment. That's a good question. I just don't know the answer. It's some kind of hypnotic retard spell they've cast on me. It's working. Damn it, it's working. I'll have to go to a witch doctor. Anyway, that was Raw. Bar the main event, that was okay. And some of the other Rollins and Friends stuff, which at least is action-packed. This was an absolute snooze fest of an episode.